here we go. Take two. Going to make a gallery type shooter project in SFML. Here's how you start. I would probably, you could do sprites here if you want. Shh. I'm recording. Hello. You could do sprites. You could do rectangles. You could do whatever you want. I'm going to make a vector of them though, obviously. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to do rectangle shapes. I'm just going to zip across the screen and then erase them if I hit them with my mouse or something.
Follow
like that.
Bradley Bushell on all streaming platforms.
His one contribution to the class in 2 weeks. Okay. Let's see. What should I call this? Targets. Something like that. Okay. It's good. Now I don't have a shape anymore, so I don't need to draw that. Right? What I want to do is I just want to make some of these and zip them across the screen. So let's do that. Let's come in here after this event loop situation here, right before my clear. And, well, I should probably make a clock too so that I can time how often these things come across the screen. Maybe I'll call it target clock. Maybe I'll have more than one target, maybe not. For now, that's good, right? So as soon as I make that, it's going to start counting the time that it's been running for. Every time you make a clock variable, it starts printing out, let's look, it'll start keeping track of how long it's been going for. Target clock dot. Remember, you can't just print out the clock and you can't just print out the elapsed time. You actually need to print out an integer, a float, or a string for cout to work. Okay? Let's run that. Come on. Thank you. There. There's my little timer. Okay. Looking great. Turn off that song, whatever you're doing, guy. Thank you. So now I just want to add targets to my list of my empty list. Let's say every 3 seconds or something like that. Okay. So I can go like this. If the target clock, right, dot get elapsed time dot as seconds. Kind of awkward, the lingo there. But let's say it's greater than 3 seconds. What do I want to do? Well, the first thing I should do is probably restart my clock. Okay. Why do I want to restart it? The point of restarting the clock is I want it to go back to 0 so I can check if it gets bigger than 3 again later on, right? If I don't set it to 0, it's just going to stay bigger than 3 and constantly be adding rectangles to my vector here. So now I want to add some rectangles to my vector. It's called targets. I'm going to hit dot push back because I want to add them to the back of the list. Right? And in the brackets, you write what you want to add to the back of the list. I'm going to write a rectangle shape. That's good. Right now, it's just a rectangle that has no size, no color, and the position's 0, 0. But I could easily grab the one I just added by going targets.back. Okay? Or I could figure out which one I'm on, and I could write targets 0 for the first one, and 1 for the second one, and 2 for the third one, and now I need to make another variable that I don't really want to keep track of right now, so I'm going to go targets.back, and then I'll be able to see all the options I could do to that rectangle. So there's a set position. I obviously want to set the position. Let it auto type for you and hit enter. There's 2 ways to do it. You could give it this vector2f, which is an SFML 2D float, or you could press the down arrow and you could see that you could also give position an X and a Y. That's the one I like to use. It's a little less typing. So I'm going to start all of these things with an X position of, let's get it off the screen like minus 50, and somewhere in the middle of my screen at like 300. So when I run this, let me check. it's going to kind of start it out here somewhere. Okay, and I'm just going to have it slowly move along here when I get to that. It doesn't have a size yet either, right? So I might as well give it a size as well. Targets dot back dot set size. Set size does need a vector 2f in it for its size. I wish it had the set position thing where it had an x and a y too, or a width and a height, but it doesn't. Okay, we're just gonna write the word vector 2f, no problem. And for now, I'm just gonna make it 50 by 50. And that's it for now, I guess. Every 3 seconds it'll add one. I'm not drawing them yet, so I gotta come in here and draw them. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just go window.draw targets, okay? And it would know how many targets I had in my list, and it would draw them. But we know C++ is not like that, okay? It needs to be told every step along the way. It needs to know how many targets you have. It needs to know which ones it wants you to draw. And so here I have to make a for loop because my targets could have 20 in it, it could have none in it, it could have 1,000, it could have 50, it could have whatever. Okay? The computer does not know and does not care. It needs to be told exactly what you want it to do. So I'm going to say go through all of my targets. Again, just always use a for loop to do that. Hey, Davey. And then instead of drawing the targets, I draw it with an I here. Now that should draw all my targets. I only have, well, I'm going to have one every 3 seconds, right? Let's see if I have one every 3 seconds. Just for fun, I'm going to get rid of this cout and just go targets.size because every vector can keep track of its own size, right? So let's see. Every 3 seconds I should go up by 1. They're all off the screen, so they're not drawing yet. There's 0, 1, 2, 3. So it is working. Perfect. Maybe it's a little bit slow, but let's, right before we draw them, let's move them all too. So we'll go targets, I, dot move. Let's see what 10 does. So now they should kind of just rip across the screen. I'm getting you started anyways. Okay, there you go. I mean, that's probably every 3 seconds is probably a little slow, right?
What do you want us to do?
Well, it's up to you. You don't have to make a project like this, but there's a, if you look at assignment 4 here, it says create a gallery shooter type game with a main sprite or a rectangle or a circle with a texture on it. And you're able to shoot a projectile at a group of targets on the screen. Your game will be graded on the following. So you need clocks. You need to be able to erase vectors. You need to make it creative. But for now, I'm showing you like how an easy way to get like little shapes across the screen. Right now I have 15 of them. By the way, I never deleted any of them. I should probably do that, right? Because now they're all in memory and they're all keeping track of their position, but their position is way off the screen. So I obviously want to delete them if they go off the screen. So let's do that. Okay. Maybe I'll do it in a separate for loop after I draw it. So again, I have to go through. I would like to do it inside of this loop because I'm already doing a loop that's going through all the targets. It's kind of dangerous though to be erasing them out of a loop that you're drawing them from. So just to be on the safe side for now, I'm going to make the exact same loop, but this one is going to be in charge of deleting stuff. Erasing elements, if need be. Okay. I want to erase it if it's off the screen, first of all. So I'll go if targets. I'm going through all of them now, right? Here I want to figure out if its X position is ever off the screen. So I'm going to go dot get position. Is there a get position? Yes, there is. Right here. Get position, it says, is a 2D number, so I just want to hit dot and get the X part of it. And I want to say, is that ever bigger than 800? Because that will be off the screen. If it is, I want to erase that one. So how do I erase it? I go targets, dot erase, that's the command. And wouldn't it be nice if I could just press I here? Like, because I'm checking, is the fourth one bigger? Like, let's say I is 4, right? Checks if the fourth one is bigger, has its X position bigger than 800. If it is, I want to erase the fourth one. So I obviously want I there and I there. But that's not how the erase command works. It actually needs the memory address of the first item in your vector. Don't ask me why. Some legacy thing, you know, some Windows or DOS legacy, weird. But that should erase it if it ever gets past the screen, hopefully, without any errors. What did I mess up? Let's look. Is it an easy mistake? I put an if instead of a for loop. Dumb. So dumb. Okay, there we go. Check this out. I got 0 in my list. Now I got 1. Now I got 0. It deleted it. Now I got 1. Now my code's efficient. I got 0. Now I got 1. Now I got 0. Cool. I could speed this up, obviously, right? Right now, I said only put them on every 3 seconds, but let's say I say put them on. First of all, let's do it as fast as it can. Anytime the clock's a little bit bigger than 0. Let's see what happens. Probably just makes, yeah, obviously. Look at that. 85 of them. It's going to be a little too much for the user to handle. How about every second? Let's look at that. Okay, now I got maybe 2 on the screen at a time. That could be okay. Maybe a little faster, maybe 0.5 every half second. You know, you could speed that up. This could be a variable or something. You know, you could have different rows or something, or you don't even have to make a shooter like this. But I want to be able to click on these and delete them too. So let's check that out really quickly. How would we do that? Pop, 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 pop. There's a way to delete them as well. I'm going to go back into this for loop where I erased them. And I'm just going to check if the mouse is inside of my rectangle and if it's being pressed down. If targets, we looked at this a little bit. Targets I, right? So we're going through each target and just checking if the mouse is being pressed inside of that target. The quick way to do it is there's a command for every drawable shape in SFML. It's called get global bounds. It returns a rectangle that surrounds the shape. So all I want to do is check to see if my mouse position is inside of that rectangle. So it's called get global bounds. Okay. Get global bounds has a couple of commands attached to it as well. One of them can check if it contains a point, and one can check if it's intersecting another shape. So it's kind of like a cheeky way to get good collision, decent collision anyways. But I'm going to click contains, and then in there it needs an X and a Y position. So I'm going to put in my mouse pointer, okay? So here's how I'm going to get my mouse. It's exactly like I get my keyboard position. I go mouse, like this, colon, colon, mouse, colon, colon. And then you could see some of the commands that were auto-type in there. I want the get position command, obviously. And then I want .x there. That's my first number. And then mouse, colon, colon, get position. It's getting to be a really crazy line. It's getting really long. Zoom out. Okay. There we go. So if the target contains my mouse position, what do I want to do? Maybe I'll try to erase the target, right? So I'll go targets dot erase targets dot begin plus I. Whoa. It's not going to be good yet. It's going to erase, well, you'll see. There'll be a couple little issues we're going to run into. Watch this. Theoretically, I haven't even put a mouse click in there, so if I move my mouse over a shape, it should delete it. Let's see if it does that, though. No, it doesn't. Okay? I'll tell you why. Those should all be deleting. The reason why is this get position command gives you the position of the mouse with respect to your monitor. If you want it with respect to the window you're working in, you have to write window in the brackets. Okay, very clever of SFML to do that. So that's good. So now let's run it, and these should erase when my mouse gets over them. But good night. Yo. Sometimes your mouse goes so fast over it, it doesn't detect a collision. Okay. Go, 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 go. Okay, so all we have to do is add in our if statement. Make sure that the person's pressing the mouse button down too. Okay. How do you do that? I guess we're going to go in here. I'm going to go down a line and just say and. Remember C++ and is Shift 7 twice. And now I just got to check if the person's pressing the mouse button. Is mouse : it's a lot like the keyboard one. Is button pressed? And then you go mouse : mouse left. I think it's left, just left, maybe. There we go. Okay. So now it'll only erase if I'm inside the box and I'm pressing the button. There you go. Come on. There we go. I think you can actually hold the mouse button, so that's going to be an issue, but later on we'll discuss how to figure it out if the mouse is being released only, because then you have a good click. Okay? Or maybe just the second the mouse is pressed. Okay, but that's how you create little shapes on the screen and delete them. So that'll be the start of our project 4. You can have a look at this video if you need help to get started. Again, your game doesn't have to be like this. It could just be stuff moving all around the screen. You could be knocking them over with your... You're kind of like you're in a... It's a gallery shooter, so you got like a gun or a pistol or something with a target on it. You can even turn off your mouse cursor and just make a sprite follow your mouse all the time, right? So I think there's a way in here under this video mode thing to turn off your mouse. Let's look. Hit comma here. Style. I'm going to go style : No, that's not it. There's a way to turn off the mouse. So. Settings. Video mode. There's a way. You can figure it out. I can't remember exactly how to do it. Well, maybe you can just go like this. You maybe go like window dot... Look for something to do with the cursor, the mouse cursor. Mouse cursor visible. There you go. Just hit false. And then you get a little sprite that you're drawing, and you always set its position to the mouse's position. So, and if it's a PNG with like a target or like a gun or a pistol or something, I don't know if we're allowed to do that, but we're doing it. Okay. I can't see my mouse position now, so that kind of sucks. But if I had a little sprite following it, it'd be cool. Okay. Maybe I'll do that real quick. Watch. I'll go circle shape. Okay. Circle shape. Target. I'll just call it R for now. R dot set radius. I want it to be small. Right. 10 pixels. I want the origin to be in the center. Yeah. 10, 10. I want it to be red. You don't have to do this. No, I'm showing you how to get started, man. It's due on Thursday. Watch this. I'm going to get this shape to follow my mouse position always. So maybe somewhere before the clear, I'll go R dot set position, right? And I'll give it the mouse's position. Remember, I need to put that window in there for the X. And the mouse's position in the Y, and now I'll have like a little red dot following my mouse without a cursor on. Gonna look cool. That's the plan, Stan. Oh my god, I forgot to draw it. No. Window.draw R. Do I have a little red dot? Yes. Pop, 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 pop. It's already fun. Not really. Sometimes it misses. Okay? It's because you're, in that frame time, it didn't see that the mouse was inside the rectangle. Okay? So I'll post that video.